Hello friends, welcome to another session of video tutorial on Selenium Java. In today's session, we are going to take a look at how to work with the basic controls such as text box, drop down, checkbox, radio button, etc. Please subscribe, like, share, comment the videos on this channel. If you have any training inquiries, please contact me at techtrainerraj@gmail.com. In the earlier video, we have seen how to identify an element on a particular web page using locator strategies. Today we will see how to work with the basic controls. For this, I'm going to make use of the internet hero-kvapp.com website. To see how to work with the simple controls, let us flip over to Eclipse. Okay, let me close all of these. Okay, I'm going to create a new project here. Go to File, New, Project, and I'm going to select Maven project. So if you are new to Maven project, please go and watch the video which I posted earlier on how to create a Maven project and what is Maven. Okay, click on Next. Click on Next. Provide the group ID. And artifact ID also. Click on Finish. Okay, under POM file, I'm going to give two dependencies which I'm going to copy it across from another project. That is testng and the Selenium dependencies. Okay, copy from a dependencies tag and then paste into this POM file. Okay, click on Save. Okay, so now I'm going to create a new class. Right click on Source Main Java. Go to New Class. Okay, so simple controls. I'm going to call it as simple web controls. Click on Finish. So here I'm going to make use of three testng annotations. Before method, at after method, and add test. Okay, so add before method. I'm going to call it as public void init, and after method I'm going to call it as teardown. Okay, let me import these. Make sure you use org testng annotations. Okay, under init I'm going to initialize the driver. So here close the driver, and here I'm going to perform the test. Okay, under initialize the driver, first thing is system dot set property which is WebDriver dot Chrome dot driver. I'm going to use Chrome driver, and the location is d:// Chrome driver.exe. So this is where my WebDriver is located. Okay, so need to create an object of WebDriver. Chrome driver, and as I said, I'm going to use the internet hero kapp.com for all the tests. I need to go to that particular web page using driver.get method. I'm going to copy this URL. Okay, and here I'm going to close it. Okay, since I cannot access a driver from here, I need to declare it outside the method but within the class. Okay, so inside the test, the first thing is link text. What I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this A/B testing link. To click on this link, I need to find out where this link is located on this particular web page. Okay, so there are few steps which we need to follow. One is locate the element on a web page. By using any of the location strategies, that is locators. And then see what actions to be performed. Okay, so as a first step, I need to find out where this element is located. Okay, so I need to use any of the location strategies which we saw in the earlier video. Okay, so right click on the element which we are interested, click on inspect. I know this is a link which has got a text called A/B testing. So here there are no other tags available. I can make use of link text. Okay, so what I will do is, so first thing is find out that element on that particular web page. Now the driver is pointing to that particular web page. By using the driver object, I need to find out that element. So driver dot find element. Okay, as I said, we have to use by class. by class has got these locator strategies. The strategy which I'm going to use now is link text, and the link name is A/B testing. Okay, so once we find out this element, then I have to click on it. To click on it, either I can create a web element, a reference, which I get from find element. Okay, so after finding this element, what do I need to do? I need to click on this. So element dot click. So this is the second step, which is perform an operation on that particular element. So using this location strategy, which is by.link text, we are trying to find out this element which is available on that particular web page and clicking on it. Okay, so save this and let us run this. Right click on the Java file, run as test-ng test. Okay, so it has clicked on that link and it has passed. So let us put some weight here so that we can see clearly whether it has really clicked on that particular link or not. Okay, to do that, thread.sleep, I'm going to put 5 seconds here so that it is clear, and exception I'm going to throw this. Okay, again run, right click, run as test-ng test. Okay, so it has clicked on that particular link. We got the result page. So far we have seen how to work with the link text, and now we will take a look at how to work with the text box and the button. Okay, for that I'm going to copy this method and modify this method to work with the text boxes. So this method I'm going to call it as text box test. For this I'm going to use this login page which I arrive at by clicking on form authentication link. Okay, the first thing is I need to click on this before I can perform any operation on the other window. First thing is, okay, I'm clicking on this. Now the next operation is, after clicking on this, I need to put in some text here. As a first step, I need to find out the location of this particular element. To find out the location of this particular element, click on inspect. Okay, and this is an input tag which has got a type, name and ID as attributes and their respective values. So I can use any of these attributes to find out the location of this particular input element. After going to this authentication page, I need to select this element first and next this element and type in the text, which is Tom Smith and super secret password, and click on this login button. Okay, so now driver dot find element by dot, since username has got 3 attributes, I'm going to use ID attribute in here, and the value is username by dot ID, and the value is username. Okay, so this will find the element. Then I need to type in something. To type, I need to use send keys method, and the text which I'm going to type in is Tom Smith. Okay, the same way I need to type in the password also, which is here. So let me try to find out the location of this element by clicking on inspect, and this is again input tag, and it has also got attributes type, name and ID. Here I'm going to use the name attribute to find out this element. So driver dot find element by dot name, and the attribute value is password, and here also I'm going to use send keys to type in the password, which is this super secret password. Okay. And then the next thing is I need to click on this button. Okay, to find out this element, again right click on this, click on inspect. Okay, so this is a special tag called I. Let me see whether there are any more tags with I. Let me do control F and then type in slash slash and then I. There's only one I tag, so for this I can use tag name. So driver dot find element by dot, can use tag name, and the value of tag is I dot, what is the operation which we are performing? Click operation. Okay, so here I'm going to enable this test case. I have already disabled this test case. Enabling this test case, save it and run this. It went into this login and it has clicked on that. Okay, so this is how we can work with the text box and the button. Okay, so let us see an example of checkbox now. For that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this method and paste it here. So this will be checkbox test. So let me disable this. Okay. Again on the Internet Hero KPP, so there is a link called checkboxes which we need to click first. So that will be our first operation. Okay, click on checkboxes, and after that, after clicking on checkboxes, we need to find out the element. This is already checked. What I'm going to do is I'm going to check this checkbox 1. To find out this element on the web page, again right click, inspect. Again, this is an input tag which has got attribute called type. I will use XPath for this. To find out XPath, press Ctrl F and then / input and then add type is equal to checkbox. It found out two elements which has got same attribute and value, which is type equals to checkbox. I need to click on the first one, correct? To find out the first one, I need to use the array again. Okay, so this will find out the first checkbox where I'm going to click on. Okay, so I'm going to use this XPath. Delete this. Driver dot find element by dot. Now again we are going to use XPath. So this is the XPath expression, and the operation which we are going to do is click on it. First it will click on the checkboxes link, and then it will go and click on the first checkbox which is unticked at this point of time. Okay, so save this. Let me run this. Right click, run as test-ng test. Let's go into the main page. Clicks on checkbox link. Okay, so it has ticked this here. Okay, this is how we can work with checkbox. Now let us take a look at how to work with the drop down. What to do is I'm going to copy this again, paste it here. I'm going to disable this. Change this to drop down test. Okay, again in this Internet Hero KPP there is something called drop down. Okay, the first thing is we need to click on this drop down link as a first step. Okay, and then once we click on this drop down, okay, so there is a drop down list. From this list we need to select one of these options. Okay, so we need to find out this control first. So again right click, inspect. Okay, so this has got a select tag with ID called dropdown. So first thing is we need to find out this element. So here web element, I'm going to store it in some variable. Web element dropdown element is equal to driver dot find element by dot ID. So this has got ID of dropdown. Okay, so inside this dropdown there are different options available which I need to select. After creating this web element, there is a select class which is available inside the Selenium, which I'm going to use. There is a select class is equal to new of select, and this takes web element as a parameter, which is this drop down element. Okay, so let me add this. Okay, so using this select object, I can select any drop down value. So if you look at this select, it has got two values, that is two options. Option 1, which is option 1, and option 2, which is option 2, and this has got value attribute also. Okay, by using select class, we have three different options to select a particular value from a drop down. Either you can select it based on index value or visible text or by value. Okay, to use the index, if you go back here, I can also select this option 1 or option 2 based on the index value, which is 1 and 2, or I can select it based on the value attribute, which is value is equal to 1, which represents option 1, value 2, which represents option 2, or by text, visible text itself, which is option 1 and option 2. Okay, so there are three ways of doing it. Let us see the first one, which is by index. Object select dot select by index, which is 1 for the first one. Save it, right click, run as test-ng test. Okay, so it has selected option 1 here. So this is based on index. The same way I can also use based on value dot select by value. So this time I'm going to select value of 2, which is option 2. Okay, option 2 has got value of 2. Okay, so let us run this again. Right click, run as test-ng test. Okay, it has selected option 2. Now the same way I can also make use of another method called select by visible text. Select by visible text. So here I need to provide the text, which is option 1 in this case, which I'm going to select. Okay, save it, right click, run as test-ng test. Okay, so here it has selected option 1. Okay, so you have to make sure that whenever you use select by visible text, you have to provide the exact text which is available in the dropdown. Okay, so this is how we can make use of select class for dropdown test. Okay, so let us see how to work with a radio button now. So I'm going to disable this. I'm going to copy this. Okay, this is how we can work with drop down. Let us see how to work with the radio button now. Let me copy this and then paste it here. Okay, so I'm going to call this as radio test. Okay, since there is no radio button control available on the Internet Hero KUAPP, I'll be using Facebook page. Okay, so there is a radio button here which is called female and male. So I'm going to use this instead of the Internet Hero KUAPP.com. So to use this, I need to change the URL in before method to facebook.com. Okay, so once it goes to this facebook.com, the first thing is to identify this element. Since I'm going to click on mail, let us inspect this element. And it is of type input. Okay, so this is a control and it is of type input, and it has got name, value, ID and type attribute. I'm going to use ID attribute. So right click, copy this ID attribute value. After going to that, you have to click on this. So to click on that radio button, driver dot find element by dot ID, and this is the ID for mail radio button dot click. Okay, save it, right click and run it again. Okay, sorry, I should have enabled this. Make it as true. Right click again, run as test-ng. Okay, it went to Facebook. Okay, it has clicked on this mail here. Okay, so this is how we work with radio button control. This is how we can work with some of the basic controls such as text box, drop down, checkbox, radio button, and the button. That is the end of today's session. Please stand by for more videos on this channel. Thanks for watching.